Hello, welcome to my channel. This video is going to be long, so just be patient. I want to show you how you can deploy an enterprise architecture solution into Microsoft Azure. So an open source enterprise architecture tool, we are going to be setting it up on Azure. And based on what we are doing in this video, if you want to deploy it into your local computer, you can also do that. But for this video, we'll be doing it into an Azure VM. We are going to be using an Azure VM, but I'll be using Windows 10 rather than Windows Server. So let me share my screen. Yes, so I believe you can see my screen. So you can see my Azure portal now. So I want to create a virtual machine. I want to provision a virtual machine. So I'm clicking on create an Azure virtual machine. Yeah, my resource group, virtual machine name, call it enterprise architecture open source. Yeah, we are using ECUS availability zone, no infrastructure redundancy. Um, so let me pick the image. I want Windows 10. And there's a reason why I'm using Windows 10. I will explain it. I will explain my reason later on. Okay, so I think we are good. I think we are good. Yeah, so the password. So the username, I will use the same name we have here. The only difference is change this to user. Hopefully this works. Okay, this is more than 20. Um, so let me use EA user. And for the password, um, let me use let me just get the password from there. Yeah, so I have a password here I'm using. Confirm password. Okay. Yeah, so RDP is fine. So I think we are good. I'll confirm this. So I think this is fine. So what we are doing now is just to provision a virtual machine, a Windows 10 virtual machine. That's what we are doing in the cloud. So let me review and quit. Hopefully everything works fine. Yeah, yeah, validation passed. So we can continue. Wait. Okay. It's gonna take a while, but it should be done very soon. So, what this video is about is that enterprise architecture, when people think about enterprise architecture, they think it's something very abstract and theoretical. And there are a lot of deliverables that are required when an organization is adopting enterprise architecture. But what this tool does is it tries to simplify the entire process. integrates everything together, and it allows enterprise architecture to be practiced as actual enterprise architecture. It can be an uphill task when you are trying to implement enterprise architecture and you do not have a tool that helps to facilitate it, which is basically what this solution is all about. And there are many products that help with this. We have Spark system, we have Obos, Oracle also have their own solution, and so many others. But when it comes to the open source movement, I think this particular tool that we are going to be using in this video, that we're going to be deploying, is kind of the leader when it comes to open source enterprise architecture platforms. And they also have a paid version also. They have a premium version on the cloud base. I think the open source version is decent enough for an organization that doesn't have the budget for the premium one. So that's basically what this video is all about. And you can decide you want to set it up in an internal server. Maybe you have a data center or you have some servers within your organization. You can choose to um, install it in one of your servers, one of your VMs within your environment. And alternatively, you can also leverage on what the cloud offer. You can provision it in Azure or in AWS or your selected cloud provider. Okay, so and it's still the same process. So when we RDP into the virtual machine, you are going to be seeing how you can also work with it if you are working with in your own data center. And the reason why I'm using Windows 10 um, acting as the platform that I'm installing the solution is simply because I do not want to go through the stress of setting up my browser to be able to access the internet, because I know that for Windows Server, by default, there are some restrictions around being able to use a browser. And this is just for demo purpose. And I I mean, I'll basically delete this immediately after this video. So I felt that it would be more convenient for me to use Windows 10 rather than Windows Server. But if you are doing it for an organization, you have a multi-user environment, you have more, you want the business architect different from the application architect, different from the um, data architect or something, you might need to use a server so that you can have multiple users connect to it at the host level. You can also do that at the solution level also. We'll be seeing how we can use Protege for some of these things. Okay, so it's still coming up. I think I can just refresh this. And if you're here to subscribe to my channel, I don't know what you're waiting for. You should do that. I just want the agent status to be ready before I download. Well, I can even download my agent, my RDP file now. So I'm downloading the RDP file, which would allow me to be able to connect remotely to my Windows 10. So this my computer is the host machine, but there's another Windows 10 that is on the cloud, and that is what I will be doing the installation on. So I'm downloading the RDP file now. I want to keep, yeah, and it's been downloaded. But before I open the RDP file, let me just confirm. I want this to be ready before I start. Yeah, so I think it's ready now. So we can shoot. So what I'll do is I'll be sharing my entire computer. So let me stop sharing and I will share my entire window. Um, okay, so let me launch the RDP file first before I share my entire window. Okay, so let me copy the password first. Yeah, so now let me go and share my entire window, entire screen. Okay, so I believe you can see my screen now. Okay, so we are going to our Windows 10 now. Accept. Yeah, so our Windows 10 has been launched. Okay, so let me launch Microsoft Edge, our browser. Okay, so now let me just Google enterprise architecture.org essential. Let me scroll down. Yeah, so this is what I want. So let me go to essential open source. Like we can also open the main page. So this is the platform that we want to deploy their enterprise architecture solution. So what I'll be doing is there are a couple of things that I need to download. I would so I open the open source over here. So we'll scroll down for download. Yeah, we'll click to download. Yeah, so this is where we need to be. So I'll just go straight to the points. I'll try to limit what I'm saying so that this video will be as short as possible. So these are the major prerequisites. You need to have Java, you need to have ProTG, which is an ontology editor. If you do a lot of um, information science and library science kind of a thing, ontology is something you'll be working with often. Then we also need an application server, Apache Tomcat, which we have over here. So we are going to be starting with Java straight away. We need to get Java downloaded. So download Java. Yeah, think Java 8 for Windows. Click on download Java. Okay. I want to download the other setup as well. Okay, so I can just work with this. Then secondly, I also want to download Apache Tomcats. Try to be very fast. I want to download version 9. I think the documentation said we should 8.5 or 9, yeah. So I'm downloading version 9. I will scroll down. Yeah, Windows Service Installer. Yeah, I'm downloading that as well. So let me go over to this. Then Protege. Protege also needs to be downloaded. Windows 4 bits. I want to download it. So aside from Windows Server, you can also choose to have your enterprise architecture platform running the server. You can adopt a Linux server like Ubuntu server or something. Um, and as long as you can install set up Protege on it, you are good to go. And Java works very well with Linux environment as well. So you'll be fine. So let me install Java. So clicking on this, I want to install GRE. Install. Yeah, so Java has been installed. Let me install Tomcats. So it's asking for Java. So this is why you need to install Java first, because Tomcat relies on Java virtual machine on GRE, on GRE rather. So this is good. Can install. So Tomcat has been installed as well, and I'm starting the service now. So it remains our Protege, which I'll be doing very shortly. Before I do that, let me just do the other downloads that I need to get going. So because this is just tests, I'm not going to be setting up a database. You can also set up a database. So I want to, there are a couple of components I want to install. So I'll be installing this upgrade as well. Click over here, keep the meta model. So I ordinarily I should install this as the baseline, but because I want to use a repository, a demo repository, that's why I wouldn't be downloading this. But usually I should download this. Then the viewer, I'm going to download this as well because I want to access it over an IP address. Import utility, for now, I don't need this. And this as well, I do not need this for now. Yeah, so I think I can install Protege now. Let me go to my downloads and Protege. Okay, so I'm trying to install Protege now. Going over here. Next, typical is fine. I'm fine with the directory, the destination folder. A new program group is fine. It has detected the Java already. So I'm choosing the Java virtual machine rather than the one that comes with Protege. Uh, yeah, this is fine. I can start the installation process. Okay, so I'm installing Protege now. And I said Protege is an ontology editor. Yeah, so then, okay. So there are some configuration changes that we need to do in our Tomcat as well as our Protege. So I will navigate to where I have my Tomcat installed. Apache software, Tomcat, and I would go to, is it bin? Yeah, bin. So this is what I need to launch. And I'll click on Java and I'll change this value to 2048. Uh, because of the size of my memory, I will use 1048. Okay, for the maximum memory pool. But if you have a very good machine, you can use 2048. And depends on what you the size of the data set, the repository that you're working with. Okay. Then for our Protege, we need to do some setup. I will launch it. It's coming up. Okay, so I'll close this. I'll come over to File, Preferences, Property Files, Protege Lags. And this is where you need to make the change. This lax.nl.java.option the Java heap size, maximum heap size. So we need to have something decent. So what I would do is I'll change this to 1048, and I will add zeros, 1, 2, 3, 2, 3. Yeah. So I think this is fine. Yeah, this looks good. So I'll click on OK. Then I will close this. Now I want to get our repository files. So what I will do is I will navigate over to resources and sample repositories. So you have sample EA models as well. If I go to, so let's download the sample repository first before I show you some things around sample EA models. So you can see we have 3 EA models over here. But it's the demo repository that I want to download. Yeah, so this is downloaded. If I wanted to get some sample EA models, I can come over here and we have sample EA models that can be downloaded as well for business capability and APQC. Okay, so what I will do now is I would go over to my downloads, open this folder, and I want to copy these so these 3. I'll go to my documents and I'll paste them over here. Then this zipped file, I will unzip it, I will extract. I think I should give it a different name. Yeah, so it's been extracted. I can use the name, it doesn't even matter. Then I would come over here, I'll copy this. Let me rename this to, okay, let me copy it first and paste it here before I rename. Paste it here, and I want it to have the same name as this. So I would come over here, I will rename this. So this .war file is what will allow me to be able to access my views via the browser. So I want to be able to use localhost using my Tomcats to be able to access it. That's why we have this. So I have this over here, and this is my sample repository. The data are in here. So let me see. Yeah, so one last thing, I can just do an upgrade. I will launch this. I will launch this so that it will upgrade the plugins and everything around my Protege. Okay, so let me launch this. I hope I'm not mistaken or forgetting anything. This video is pretty long, so uh, it's not going to be nice if I'm missing up anything. Add to Protege, so let's search, go to my computer, program files, C drive, Protege. So we can use this, auto detect, then next. Now we can install this over here. Yeah, this is fine. Then next. Okay, so this is good. So what I will do now is I'll just confirm that my Protege is working as expected. So I'll go over to my browser. It usually work on localhost 8080 on port 8080. So for my own computer, we'll see if we can access it. I will also need to do some ports configuration. So we have our Protege, our Tomcat running. So we are good. So it's working as expected. So now let me launch Protege. Okay, so before I launch Protege, okay, let me launch it first, then I would um do what I need to do from Tomcats. So let me close this. Let me go to file. I want to open a new project. So that folder that I set up is what I want to work with. It's in my documents. So this is the folder. Then the .pplj file is what I am going to be working on. So it's loading now. It's loading. So it will take about a minute, and you are going to be able to see. Yeah, so it's done now. So we can see what we need to see. So one quick thing that we need to do is I would go over to my documents again. I'll be copying um the file. I'll copy. Then now I want to go to my Tomcats. Just the same way you do this so as me we are working with Apache or Nginx. The way you do site available, site enabled kind of a thing, and ensuring that everything is, or if you're working with XAMPP, you put everything into the XAMPP, the htdocs folder. So that's similar to what we want to do now. So I'll go to program files, I'll go to Apache Software Foundation, Tomcat, and now web apps. Then I'll paste that .wa file here. I copied it, I didn't cut it. So automatically it will detect the folder. Yeah, so you can see the folder now. There's a copy here automatically because Tomcat is running. Okay, so what I will be doing now is I will be going over to, I'll be going over here. Okay, let me be sure I have this copied. Copy this. Oh, I think, okay. So let me go over to my Protege and I will click on Essential Viewer because it's the viewer that we are interested in now. And I will be pasting the name of that WAV file over here. Okay. Then I'll click on Publish to see if there is a connection and it detects that Protege has a good connection with our Tomcat application server. So I'm clicking on Publish now. Hopefully everything works as expected. It's taking some time. It's taking some time. Let me see. So anytime you're having issues like this, you should go to um the command line to see what you have there. Is it throwing an error? Oh, this is not good. Exception out of memory. So the space I gave to it wasn't sufficient. So what I'll do is I'll close this, then I'll go to I will open Protege again. I'll open Protege again. Then I'll go to File, Preferences, come over here, Protege lags. Then I'll change this to 2048 um 46. Okay, so this should be sufficient. Okay, now I would file open. So I want to open this again. So the maximum heap size was what caused the error. So now I will go to I'll go to my essential viewer and I would paste the viewer once again. Hopefully this time around there will be no out of memory error and publish. Yeah, so I think it's working better now. Encountered an error, no response from report service. Okay, store 1005. Let me confirm uh, the name. Okay, so let me see where this is from. Okay, no response. Why is there no response? Okay, probably let me see if our Tomcat is still working. Our Tomcat is still working. Probably we might need to refresh our Tomcat. Let me try it once more. Okay, so let me go and refresh our Tomcat now. So let's go to services. This is Apache Tomcat. I want to refresh. Refresh. Okay. Okay, so probably I might need to also restart this. So let me close my Protege and let me reopen it. So let me open this. Okay, so now let's go back and store underscore 1005, I believe. Let me confirm store underscore 1005. Is the S capital letter? No, it's not. Let me try it again. Essential viewer report service could not be found. Report service could not be found on this URL. Oh, I didn't put forward slash. There isn't a forward slash here. So there should be forward slash here. There should be a forward slash here. Is that the issue? I don't know. Let's try. Okay, so what I'll do now is um oh, I think I know what's happening. So let me change this. Let me rename this. Let me rename this to what we have here. Yeah, I think this is basically the issue. Let me rename this. Then let me close this. This is a learning curve, so so let's open Protege again. Let's close this. Open. Yeah, while that is coming up, Yeah, I think that's actually the issue. So let me go to Essential Viewer again. Now let's go to 1005 and think it is store. Okay, so let's publish repository. Still having the issue. Oh, so let me what I'll do is let me restart Tomcats. Let me restart it. Let me refresh first, then if it doesn't work, I will restart Tomcats. This should work. I don't know. So now let me restart. Let me restart Tomcats. Okay, it's running now. So now let's try it again. Yeah, it's working now. So the problem was to restart. I think this should work. Yeah, it eventually worked. So the problem was to restart Tomcat. So I actually thought refreshing it would be similar to restarting, but it's all good. So the point was to restart Tomcat. So we now have this how we want it to be. So what I'll be doing now is, so we have this now. If I should refresh, we have this. But what we're interested in is the enterprise architecture page. So what we need to do is we go over here, then we put store underscore 1005, and we have access to the enterprise architecture library and all the deliverables that are required. So if I should click on this, I'll be able to see for business strategy goals. So all these deliverables, we have diagrams for them. So once I click on them, and they are very interactive. When I click on application dashboard, you're going to see the CSS and everything that enterprise architecture, the enterprise architects require. If I should go over to the, so this video is more about the installation rather than working with the deliverables. So I wouldn't be dwelling a lot on all this, but if you click on business strategy overview, you are going to see business strategy goals, objectives, blah blah blah. So that is that. So what we are going to do is so let me click on transformation management. Click on strategy planner. Click on define roadmap. We have all this as well. So what I want to do now is we have this um in our system, and but what we want to do is we want to be able to access it via the IP address of the virtual machine. So what I'll be doing is, the first thing I need to do is, let me go to Windows Defender Firewall, because there's a firewall at the network layer, there's another firewall at the host layer. So let me allow the one at the host layer first before we go over to the one at the network layer. So I'll go to advanced setting. I want to be able to allow an inbound traffic into a particular port. So I'll click on inbound rules. I'll click on a new rule. A port is what I'm interested in. Next, TCP is fine. Specific ports is 8080 that Tomcat works on. I'll click on next. Allow the connection. Next. Allow everything. Next. The name, I can call it enterprise architecture user rule. And finish. Okay. So I've added that rule. So now I'll be going over to my computer on Azure. So this is now the host machine now. I'm going over to network settings. Is it network settings or security settings? I don't know. Network settings. Let's see. Click on it. I want to create an inbound rule for port 8080. I'm adding it. Yeah, so people can, so what it means is that inbound into this particular IP address, that port will be open for outsiders to come into it. So if I should go to the overview page and I copy the IP address for the virtual machine and I come over here, I paste it and I column 8080. So ordinarily, let's see if we'll be able to have access to the Tomcat default page. And we do. So our firewall rules work. So you do not need to switch off the entire Windows Defender. What you just need to do is to create an exception for it. So now for our particular app, what you need to do is store underscore 1005. You know that we are now in the host machine, so I am no longer in the machine that we installed it. So this is my own Windows 10 now that we are using. Store 1005. Let's see. And we do have access to the same portal, which is great. And if I should click on strategy management, for example, and I click on strategic goals model, we can have access to information that we usually have access to as well, which is great. Okay, so I believe with this video you have an understanding on how to deploy on Microsoft Azure. This is just a simple case scenario. So if I wanted to connect it to an SQL server now, and I wanted to create separate users, if you can recall over here, you can see that I'm back to the VM now. You can see that if you should go over to Protege, you can see username password. So that tells you that you can have multiple users, multiple architects working on this. So, but in this case, we had just a single user because I wanted to save time. But when you are doing it for production and depends on the robustness of your organization, these are some things that you might want to consider. Okay, so this video is pretty long already, so no need making it longer than necessary. If you find this video helpful, don't hesitate to like, share, and subscribe. Have a wonderful day, everyone. Stop sharing.